I'm Mandy, and this is my poster. So we're talking about alcohol use disorder, which is a prevalent problem. If you look over here, there's several statistics showing how bad it can be in the United States. Third leading cause of preventable death, so it's incredibly prevalent. And this is something that's been a dogma that only males tend to binge drink, and then it wasn't really a female problem. And this dogma kind of affected the field of research, and it's mostly now done in just males. There isn't a whole lot of female data, and so that's where my project comes in. And the way to understand the biology of addiction is you have a place in your brain called the ventral tegmental area, which projects to the nucleus accumbens. And dopamine release within the nucleus accumbens is what gives you a rewarding feeling. This is totally a natural cycle that happens on purpose. When you drink water after a long time and you feel good, or eat a yummy burger, then you're just like, you're feeling good, you're feeling rewarded. And what addiction does is it kind of hijacks the system and it makes you want this thing more and more, and it becomes a cycle of abuse. So what we wanted to do is to see this in more of a female perspective. So we did this in two ways. We used two different techniques. One is called microdialysis, and as you can see here, we implanted a probe into the nucleus accumbens where we're measuring dopamine, and we collect what's called the dialysate. And this dialysate is what we are going to measure on an HPLC gradient and see how much dopamine is released after addiction, ethanol injection. And then we also use what's called fast scan cyclic voltammetry, which is more of like a current. It's delivered and it's evoked response instead of just a natural response that you get to a liking. And this is another way to measure dopamine that's pretty typical in the field. And we also use what's called a vaginal lavage to determine what phase of the cycle you're in. So as you can see, these are different kinds of cell types, and this will help us kind of elucidate more estrus phase differences. And so our preliminary results show that as females and males are injected with ethanol, they hit at the same place, but females rapidly taper off, and they actually go below baseline, and it's statistically quite a large difference. And this below baseline is where you get your feelings of withdrawal. This is feeling like gross and icky, and I need something to make me feel better. And this is why you hit again. You drink more alcohol just to feel normal, not even just get high, it's just go back to baseline. As you can see, there's a huge difference between males and females. We also wanted to do a dosage response curve showing different dosages of ethanol, and 0.5 is like pretty buzzed and 4 is like plastered. So as you can see, there are differential effects, and this is important for as a baseline as we're going to compare our females to this data later on. And using fast scan cyclic voltammetry, we haven't quite elucidated any differences between males and females. The sample sizes are still fairly low, and this research is ongoing, but as you can see, they're fairly similar. And then as we come up to estrus differences, using that vaginal lavage, we're able to kind of elucidate where the dopamine is in each cycle, phase of the cycle. As you can see, there probably are differential effects, but we haven't elucidated those yet. We are still in the process of collecting data. And this is clinically relevant as you have like a female who comes in trying to kick this habit, trying to get over her alcohol addiction. If you know what phase of the cycle she's in, you can taper treatment just for her. It becomes a very clinically relevant, very tailored process. And obviously, as we can see, there are sex differences, and this will help further the research in the field.